You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Arrow After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Arrow After Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ. We are here doing another after show for CW's Arrow, episode 19, season 1, Unfinished Business. Yes, it was a good episode. I'm Kaori Takee, and I'm with...
Hi, everybody. I'm Alikona Bradford.
And I'm Kellie. Hey, everyone. I'm Ann.
So, guys, this episode I thought was really good.
I agree. You know what? I mean, it started off kind of strange with the girl dancing in the street.
Yeah.
You know, we were all...
You've never danced in the street after the club. Come on.
Yeah, all the time. That is exactly how I get my men, just so you know. Tip, ladies. No, but seriously, I'm looking at this girl, and she's just like, and at first you're like, okay, typical floozy, you know, from the club, and then bam, she just gets sideswiped by a car.
I did not even feel bad for her. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
No sympathy.
You know, I concur, because nobody forced you to take drugs.
No.
Sorry.
Well, you know, it's an addiction.
Okay, but you have to take them initially with a clear mind. You take them, and then you get addicted.
I mean, speaking of this drug, vertigo, I don't see how you can not have a clear mind on it. I mean, you could have a clear mind before, and then once you take it, you're done.
Right. So
she could have been perfectly normal. And
I mean, it reminds me of like back when I was like in maybe even like before
what?
high school. No. But it reminds me of like, because when I was like in high school, like freshman, everybody was doing acid. Like that was the big thing. And if I had partaken, I think it would kind of have an effect similar to that, but not as crazy. Because I had people that would get like so crazy on it. This one guy was like literally ran through a storefront window. Like crazy.
But at the same time, if you hear stories about stuff like that,
why do I want to do that?
Yeah, why would you think that it's okay?
I mean, that they were putting like the acid, like it drops in their eyeball. It was like gross, and that did not seem attractive to me. So I don't know. So being completely out of your head like that, I don't know why that's appealing to some people, but apparently it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess everyone is
dance around in the streets, see all the colors, you know, whatever.
But that's the dangerous part about this drug vertigo, is that it's so dangerous that it's killing people.
Yeah, totally new ingredient.
Totally new ingredient, but people are still going for it, even though there's deaths involved.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, I think that's still kind of true today. It doesn't, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Because you'll be the one person that survives.
Sure, but this drug is specifically made to kill people with that new ingredient, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, people don't know that when they get involved with it. But at the same time, everybody knows crack kills. But how many people, I mean, seriously, how many people get involved? How many famous people get involved?
Well, I think that drug, they died because they had an allergic reaction. Well, at least the one guy did. I'm not sure if the street girl did. But didn't she die because she got hit by the car?
Well, yes,
but then they found that ingredient in her bloodstream.
Kelly's so observant. That's why I get her on this show.
Thank goodness for Kelly.
I think she kind of got hit by a car and hit her head.
They said there was like an antipsychotic in it, and that was the new thing that was in the drug, which is causing people to really go flip crazy.
Right, but I don't think it was specifically meant to kill them. It's just that one crazy dude had an allergic reaction to it, hence the reason why he died. But it did take a lot of pills.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, the fact that this drug kills people would probably mean that Count Vertigo, who appears in this episode, would have to change the ingredient that he's added. Right. But he didn't. He doesn't care.
Well, he doesn't know any better.
And just a side note about the whole fact that this drug kills people, it's obviously probably not the dealer's intention because it's kind of bad for business.
Yeah, you can't make money off of dead people.
Exactly.
So, well, I guess on Arrow you can.
But then again, it doesn't necessarily kill everybody because the Count got a lethal dose of it, and he's just nuts, but he's not dead.
But that didn't have the antipsychotic in it.
No, but even before that, because remember, even before it was killing people because of the off balance of the chemical mix, and whatever, these kids have to go to chemistry, and
Well, did you guys think it was a more intense reaction than the last time we encountered this drug in previous episode?
Well, I think it was hitting people faster because of that, and because of the antipsychotic
and lingering too.
Yeah,
there's definitely a lingering and lasting
there was
effect.
more obvious craziness involved. We had that guy who was trying to
at the aquarium.
trying to hurt people at the aquarium.
Well, doesn't that make you wonder, like, how scary these drugs are that they give people that are in these insane, like, that are supposed to be mentally ill?
Yeah.
And these drugs are supposed to help them. And doesn't it make you kind of think that maybe they give it to them to keep them crazy?
It would make
I
sense.
mean, that's a Scientologist
that's
question right there.
It's a moneymaker,
I mean,
that's for
kind
sure.
of scary, right?
Yeah.
Like if they put that same drug that they're giving these people that's supposed to, in some cases make them better, and it's like killing people and making them flip out even more. That's kind of scary stuff.
But I mean, it could be the combination of what's in Vertigo in conjunction to what's in the antipsychotic. It just is not a good blend.
No, no, absolutely not. But I mean, maybe. But that's just kind of, if that's like the key ingredient to make you even wild out more. Wow.
I mean, the guy at the aquarium was tripping out, and he wanted more. He grabbed more until Oliver.
Well, I mean,
aired it out of his
he just
hand.
lost his marbles anyway.
I
So the
know.
thought of more, I don't know.
I mean, I'm just thinking, like, if I was envisioning things like that all cloudy, and I had my hand on a gun, I'd be like, wait, I need to like go
But
hide.
in his
real
mind,
quick.
maybe in his mind, he was thinking, this drug gives me clarity. Like, that's how screwed up it is.
I don't know. It's scary. If I see 3 of anything, it's like, it's not
time
okay.
to go. But you know what? Didn't you guys think it was really clever how that doctor figured out how to make the drug? Because it's not like he knew the recipe. He straight up did a kidney analysis.
I
right?
know.
Pretty smart.
I mean,
You
that's
have a lot of time and you're really broke.
dedication. If that is dedication. When you're going to analyze somebody's kidney and break down the components and figure all of that out, that's insane.
I guess the doctor in Starling City don't make much money.
I know.
But seriously, if you're that smart,
Not
come
enough
up with something
crazies.
better.
I know. You should have had a better plan.
So did you guys feel a little bad for Count Vertigo when you
I
saw what was
kind of
happening?
did a little bit.
Think of all the people he hurt in his
I
past, though.
Oh, so you don't feel bad?
Not really. I mean, yes, he looked pretty pathetic when Oliver had the arrow to his head, and I didn't really think that Oliver was going to have it in him to kill him anyhow.
Yeah.
So yeah, but at the same time, karma sucks.
That it does.
That's how
And
I
that
see
moral
it.
code that Oliver is trying to live by is starting to get a little murky for me with each
Yeah.
episode that we're seeing, you know?
Yeah.
How is he making these decisions? How is he deciding to keep the Count alive and last week, killing off somebody or whatever?
I never really believed in his moral code, to be honest, because it always felt a little contradictory.
Right.
Well, I think it's
So-
just kind of in the moment. It's whoever he feels is a threat in that moment. And, what is the Count going to do? He barely knows his own name. So he's not going to out him. He he's not going to make any more of this drug. And he's literally out of his mind. So what's the point of killing him?
But how do we know that's not an act?
Right.
I mean, it could be, but the doctor even said he's been in that place for 3 months, and he didn't spill the ingredient. He didn't do anything. I mean, for him to sit through those, liver analysis, a kidney analysis, and all of that. I mean, maybe he really is out of his mind.
Or the doctor could have been lying. He could have knocked him unconscious and put him on a table and strapped him down and cut stuff out or
Maybe,
needled it out
but
or whatever.
I think there's something very genius about the Count.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I don't think it's the last we're going to see of him. I
No.
like how they left it open for him to come back,
Yeah.
and maybe that'll always be the conflict between Oliver and his moral code. Should he have just gotten rid of him?
Yeah.
This is the second time he hasn't.
Yeah.
It's
kinda
because
like-
of that same thing.
It's kind of like Batman and Joker. That's what it keeps reminding me of. Because maybe they'll become arch enemies. Well, Merlin's involved, but
Yeah.
which we'll get to, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what? Oliver kept bringing up, well, the theme just in general, towards the end of the show, all we kept hearing about is people change. And it seems like he was going in that direction too, as far as in the past, I would have shot him, no questions asked, but people change.
Well, I think he feels really bad, especially with the whole thing that's happening with Tommy and the way that he's making him feel like a really bad person. And if you really think about it, I mean, yes, he kills people. That's bad. But he's not. He thinks of it as he's defending himself in his city. He's not
Exactly.
really just maliciously going out to murder people,
Well,
which is a little bit different.
so-
And I think that's kind of his struggle.
Well, do you think he did the right thing by saving Vertigo's life?
I don't know.
It's gonna nip
He
him in the
should've-
butt
he
later, I'm
should've
sure.
Should have just done it, gotten over with.
Right.
The
because,
Huntress is out there now. The Count is still out there.
He keeps saving these people that are so detrimental to the city. But I thought it was really cool how he killed the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
That was so cool. I was like, that was the best scene of the whole season.
I see 3 of you, 3 arrows.
Right? Well, the guy, and the guy said, "You're not going to be able to hit me with 1 arrow," and he said, "Pa-pow!"
That was
What?
so awesome.
Yeah. And I like how it coincides with the island, and it was showing how he was able to even just kind of pull the bow.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Okay, hold on. I was watching that whole island thing, and I'm thinking, okay, Mr. Miyagi much. But
Yes, that's what I was
But at
thinking.
the same
Wax
time,
on, wax off.
right. But at the same time, it didn't make sense to me because I understood her story towards the end when she was saying the whole, I guess, backstory behind it was the boy who hit water for 1.5 years, and then later on he could break a table. Makes sense. Same motion. But then when she handed him the bow and he's like, oh, I have this strength. What is this?
Yeah.
You have to do with this.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I didn't
She
understand.
strengthened his muscles in his arm. That's
Yeah,
what
that's all I got out
That's all
of it
it
too.
was.
Really?
That's
Because
all
I
it
was
is.
thinking of
It's
the
just
hand
it's like
part.
lifting. It's like lifting weight. You know, the longer that you do it. But that's the thing, is that just that motion. He was just strengthening
I
his
guess
arm.
this side of the table just wasn't getting it.
Yeah, we got it.
Remember when he first tried to do it, he couldn't really pull it back, and that's what what's his name said. You're too weak. And then after he did that for a while, he could, he just strengthened his arm.
Why couldn't he just keep pulling it like a rubber
Yeah.
band?
Then it would be
right?
obvious, It's kind of a cool transition to see him doing this and then have the strength in his arm to pull the bow back.
I guess they needed that like symbolic moment where she can give him the story about
She
her
Miyagi'd
having
him.
that.
Her ancient wisdom.
Well, and it also teaches patience on how to learn the whole art of what he's got to do, because he's got to strengthen his entire body.
Yeah.
So it's making him. It's absolutely the Mr. Miyagi thing. Patience is key.
But I love that a girl is coming in and doing all this.
Oh
because
yeah, absolutely.
Slade's like, good luck with him. I already tried.
Yeah,
her,
he's like bounced for most
her
of the
Indian
island.
style headstand. I mean, come on.
That was
Her
amazing.
handstand,
That was
awesome.
really cool.
That actress is really cool, actually. I looked her up, and she's, outside of being an actress, she's a martial artist too.
Nice. She's
And
legit.
she's the daughter of this world famous martial artist that worked with Bruce Lee and all those people. So it's like
Cool.
Very
perfect
cool.
casting for that role.
Yeah, no, she's great. I think I like her.
Yeah.
she's she's cute, and she's not. I think she's not. Sometimes when you have kind of a female character like that come in, it's either like too girly or too this. I think she's the perfect kind of balance for them.
I
Yeah.
completely
I like
agree.
it.
There's no question. It's not like when we look at Laurel and we're like, can she fight? I can't
Yeah,
really tell.
right.
This
Yeah.
girl,
Yeah.
she can kick butt.
Yeah, you can absolutely believe everything she's trying to throw at you. I like that.
You know, and at first when I saw her and Slade going at it and they were fighting, I thought, ooh, chemistry, tension. But I already
Really?
know. Yeah, but you know what? Unfortunately, we've already talked about it, and I already know that it's more so going to lean towards the romance with her and Oliver versus her and Slade.
Yep.
But I don't know, just the way they were fighting, and he's like, okay, another round, let's do this. Ooh, maybe, and this is me just getting real deep into everything, but maybe that's what causes his demise and how he becomes Deathstroke, because he's jealous and,
Oh, women.
I know, like I said, reading way too deeply into it, but
you never know.
He was very shocked by her martial arts moves, and he even said that Yao Fei has a son. I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
A girl can do just as good.
thank you.
She's probably even better than Slade was.
Of course he is. I mean,
Yeah.
she is. Whoa.
See,
I
you
just did
it.
But we also learned that she didn't come with Yao Fei to the island. She came to
For
get
him.
Yao Fei off the island.
Well, she was kidnapped.
Yeah.
Like she was originally looking for him, and then somebody came and tased her and dumped her on the
Yeah.
island.
Yeah.
But I like that we got to see or hear from her what his backstory is, and really he was just a tool, basically, for people to blame this huge
And he
massacre on.
still
Yeah.
is.
Ugh.
I was a little surprised that last episode she left him, and then in this episode there's no tears. I guess granted time has probably passed, but I just felt like I wanted to see more emotion in her in leaving her father during the run.
Well, we also heard that line where she's actually questioning Yao Fei's integrity at this point,
Right.
whether he has been sold to, Fire's big plan, or if he's actually still a normal guy.
Why she's questioning it when he refused to leave the island to stay with her?
Does she know
True.
that? Maybe she doesn't
Well,
know
yeah,
that.
I think she. Well, didn't he go?
Well, I mean,
there
that's
and-
kind of the the thing, the obvious thing, but maybe she just doesn't feel that.
She can just be an upset daughter.
You know, well, and also, why didn't he rescue her? Remember he was out with Oliver for so long, and before he even ran into Oliver, what was he doing? Why was she still captured?
He was probably either planning or maybe trying to train eventually Oliver. So
but if she can fight like the way that she can, then why was she still captured for so long?
This is
like,
true.
That's my question. It's like, why didn't he rescue her a long time ago?
Right.
Did he not know where she was? Did he just all of a sudden she appeared? Or I want to know more about that.
Considering that they have training through water and patience, I think it has to do with planning things out, and that's why it didn't happen so quickly. That's my
maybe.
Maybe. You guys sound like you don't believe what I have to say.
I don't know, but I can understand why she would be questioning that, because it just, I don't know, it seems kind of odd that she would have been, you know, thrown around and pretending not to speak English and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden she's just like kicking everybody's butt.
Yeah. There had to have been a plan then. There had to have been.
But how would she know that Oliver and Slade were going to do that?
Well, no, not between them, but I mean, her and her father had to have had a plan going on, and that's
why. But then why didn't they do that like a while, while ago? It seemed like she didn't even start fighting back until it was the four of them trying to do it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not giving him enough credit.
Maybe because at that point, it was like a make it or break it decision, quick moment.
Because maybe there wasn't that many of the guards with them. It was only that certain number, so it was easier, maybe?
Or maybe they were holding out on information to really figure out what plan is about to unfold before they try to get away.
I mean, who cares? They need to save themselves, right?
True.
And then come back, go get help. Come back.
Yeah.
Well, there was a little teaser in the WonderCon trailer that they showed. I don't know if I want to spoil anything. There's a scene coming up where they're all going to interact, which makes me believe that maybe Yao Fei's integrity is questionable.
Really?
Oh.
It's a very quick snippet, so I might be drawing, too much into something that's not even important, but they're all in a room together. I'll say that.
I want to know more now. Well, before we continue, guys, I wanted to thank all our viewers for tuning in and ask them to please go to iTunes and rate us. 5 stars would be excellent. 1 for each of us, and the 5th one for Steven.
Yes.
And Marissa's like, And please give us a comment and check out our YouTube. Leave a comment. We also keep the conversation going by responding back because we love to do that. So, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Island-wise, do you think that Shadow has a thing for Oliver? I know we talked about it, but I don't feel it, though.
Not yet. I don't think it's going to happen yet. I think what's going to happen is they're going to start working together, and they're going to have intimate moments where maybe he's got the bow and she's kind of like...
Yeah. A whole, like...
doing one of those, and all of a sudden it's just going to be like, I love you, or something.
Yeah, I don't think it's yet at all. I think he's a little bit... I don't think he's that attractive to her yet, but I think he will.
Well, because
he
needs to be more powerful.
Yeah, when he really starts getting into it, I think that's going to change the dynamic a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too.
Cray.
Yeah. But it's cool that in the island we finally understand why he chose, or he was given the arrow, the bow and arrow. So all of that is starting to come into play as the season comes towards the end.
Yeah. Well, and we know they don't all get off together. I mean, we know that from the very beginning of the series.
I would love to know.
Did I miss that train? Hold on.
No, in the very beginning when he gets rescued, you remember in the very first episode, and they showed at the beginning of all, like, he shoots the arrow, the fire comes up, and this boat comes and gets him. So they don't all, unless they get off and he goes back, but they don't all, they're not all together. He gets rescued alone. So all of these stories, like, leading up to trying to get off, like, I'm just curious to see what happens to everybody. Why do they get separated since he ends up getting rescued on his own?
Do you think...
I wonder if he's even still on the same island, or if he hops over to another one.
I wonder if he knows that, like, their whereabouts or their fate at this point.
I don't know.
Are they still on the island?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different directions that the stories can go, and that's what makes it so great.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And we got Slade Wilson, too, who
signed on for season 2, so that's good news.
It's going to be good stuff, for sure. So, Diggle has his own vendetta.
Yes.
He wants to get rid of Deadshot. But Oliver is kind of like, nah, you don't have time for this. You have time for me.
Yeah, well, he's a little bit selfish in the beginning, and then he gets ticked off because he's in a situation where he could have used Diggle's help, and Diggle's off doing his own thing and gets ticked at him. So there's a lot of moments I think that Oliver is very selfish and at the same time very selective in the things that he does and the way he treats people, just like we were talking about a little bit earlier in the show. So at least towards the end, he finally comes around. You know,
Well, I think he's
admits.
still that selfish kid that he was before he ended up on the island. Kind of like, because he throws like little tantrums.
Like the bratty thing.
Yeah, and very contradictory to the way he lives. It's kind of like, I can do what you can't do. You need to be there when I say.
Yeah.
It's all about me. And then he has a little tantrum, thinks about it, and then he comes around.
I'm glad it's still there, though. I mean, I'm glad they haven't just decided to completely change him. Because those little instances still come out.
I think I've been noticing a lot in this episode that Oliver was very unstable in this episode relative to other episodes.
How so?
Well, because the vertigo thing was driving him crazy.
Right.
Even more so than Huntress was driving him crazy. He was just more annoyed with her more than anything.
Right.
But this one, he was like, I don't know if I should kill him. I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. What's the impersonation voice going on right now?
Is that what's going on in his
Like an
mind?
old Asian man.
You know, I don't know if I should kill him. And then, you know, symbolically, he drinks the vertigo.
Right.
He's forced to drink the vertigo.
Yeah, not by choice.
Right.
Well, he thinks it's all his fault because he didn't kill him in the first place. So he thinks that this relapse is completely his fault because he should have killed him just to begin with.
I mean,
Okay,
and
but he doesn't
that's what
kill him at the end.
No, but that's the whole point. Like, that's the struggle. Is that he thinks that he should have done it, and then when it comes down to it, he's not that cold-blooded killer. He kills to defend, but he doesn't kill to murder, and that's kind of the fight that he has with himself.
I mean, I think like he's the most frazzled in this episode than any other episode I've seen before because he's kind of like not in control with vertigo issue. Tommy, his best friend, is really turning against him.
But I think that's really fluffing with his head. Like, really.
Yes.
Because he's
Yes.
never questioned his intent before. Even when he first got involved with Diggle and everything else like that, he's never questioned what his purpose is. He's cleaning up the city by his own way, which is killing people. It's Tommy, and again, childhood friend who's sitting there and telling him over and over again, like you said, you're a cold-blooded killer. I don't care why you're killing people. I don't trust you.
I don't know.
And how dare you judge me? Here comes that whole people change theme again. But how dare you judge me on who I used to be? And what did he say? Something about I'm more afraid of who you are. I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know who you're gonna kill. I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And then Tommy did save him this time around.
Yeah, that was a big
he
save.
really did. As angry as he is at him, he still has his back. And I think it hurt him more that even for a second, Oliver thought that drug dealing could have been true than his whole issue with him being the Arrow. I think that was kind of the...
Why would he be so hurt about that, though? Maybe...
Because, I mean, think about it. It's like you and I are best friends. We grew up together. Yeah, you had a drug habit for like a second. You got in trouble. You got over it. And then all of a sudden, somebody comes over. Somebody's dealing drugs. And I'll be like, oh, it's her. I know it. She's back at that.
Yeah, it's messed up.
But you know what I mean? It's kind of like I should know
sure,
better.
but I don't really feel like Oliver was pointing the finger.
Exactly.
No, but when they talked about it, it was like the look that you gave me, you doubted me.
I think
And
he was
when
just
you're
being paranoid.
when you're that close to somebody, you know. I mean, think about it. People that are closest in your life, when somebody's disappointed in you and they just give you this one little glance, like you know it. And that, I think, being disappointed, when somebody says they're disappointed in you, I think is one of the lowest things anybody can tell you.
Of course.
True.
Especially if they haven't acknowledged the thing, you know, the good things,
That's why
or if
parents
you've
suck
changed it.
sometimes.
Yes, you know. But I think that's why it's such an issue for him because, you know, this is his best friend. He should know better. I mean, Tommy's really, if you think about it, Tommy's the only one that's kind of just accepted him for the crazy person that he was when he first got back.
Exactly.
Didn't really give him too much of a hard time. Just kind of like, hey, whatever, let's integrate you back into society. And, you know, didn't really judge him. And then at the first sign of weakness, Oliver all of a sudden is like, I don't know.
But I didn't read that from him.
He even admits it when they talk about it.
Yeah, but
I didn't read that either.
I didn't see it at all. I see Detective Lance storming in there with his, you know, trying to...
His gusto, obsessed self.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, oh, here he goes again, just trying to find a reason to get Oliver in trouble. And it just happens to be linked to the daughter's boyfriend, who I'm not really sure if I approve of you yet, so it's okay that I'm interrogating you. And I thought when I watched it that Oliver was probably more concerned about Lance than even thinking that the drug came from Tommy.
But you also have to remember that he's really like psyched up on this drug because it almost killed his sister. So any kind of even in the beginning when he's like, how could drugs have gotten in here? I want to check everybody. Who are you hiring? What's going on? It was very accusatory in the beginning. And then, even Tommy makes that joke, I try not to hire too many drug dealers. But still, he was automatically, how did this happen? How did it get in here? What do we do?
Did you guys think for a moment that Tommy actually might have?
No.
Really? I kind of thought maybe it would be a possibility.
No, I didn't think so.
Because from this episode,
by the end of this episode and the way his attitude had changed, now I think he might have. But I did it.
So much more interested in Tommy.
Oh, absolutely. He got like 5. He added 5 points.
But what I didn't get is how quickly he got mad.
Sure.
And how quickly he turned to the, I guess, dark side. I think they should have kind of played it out a little bit longer than that.
Well, I think he's a little rich kid too, and he threw a tantrum, and it's like, screw you, I'm going to go do this. I think that it's kind of very similar in the way Oliver acts out. And then now he's just like, I quit. I'm over this. I've got too much self-respect for this, and storms out to go back to his dad.
Well, it's one of those things where you're bottling up something so much. I mean, he has such a crucial, what's the word? Secret, yeah. He has such a crucial secret that he's hiding from everybody, even his loved one, Laurel, and that's ruining their relationship.
Yeah. And plus, he's got this weird competitive thing with Oliver, too, that nobody ever talks about. So can you even imagine that now to find out that he's a vigilante? And then, he's probably going back and thinking about how Laurel went to go see him on her own.
Lied
and
about
has this whole thing with him, and it's still Oliver, so that still he's never 100% going to have her back. And
I actually saw an interview that he gave talking about his character and just saying, finally, Tommy's going to actually start just standing up for himself is how he sees it, just standing up for himself. Because if you think about it, he has been a pushover, and not directly verbally, but even with Laurel, to the way she acts towards him. Again, she almost seemed like she wore the pants in the relationship.
Yes.
She's the one who kind of just put him off to the side, and he was the passive puppy dog that was...
It feels reversed right now.
Exactly.
It feels kind of like she's reaching out to him, and he's like...
I know, he's standing her up for dates and, all of those things. Something that he would never do before. Yes. He would always kind of chase after her, and now he's not. He's got other things on his mind.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a lot more attractive to her, to want to hold on to him.
Of course, it's going to be more attractive.
Wrong, girls. What is wrong with us?
I mean, look at Kelly and I are like, yes, Tommy.
I don't get it. But we forget that Tommy was probably exactly the same kind of playboy that Oliver was before all of this. And, the Arrow comic this week reminded us of that, that it really showed the relationship of Tommy and Laurel before Oliver came back to Starling City. And that they were kind of the, redemption for each other, since they both lost somebody important in on the island, or I guess they didn't know about the island at the time, but they kind of were there for each other, and that's how their relationship built. But they showed Tommy as this billionaire playboy who's, sleeping with all kinds of women and doesn't care about who he's with that night, and now we see him as kind of this pushover, and it's going to be exciting to see him go back to that kind of kick butt side.
Well, you got to think, too, the whole time Oliver's gone, now he's in the #1 spot. Because when it's him and Oliver, he's always the sidekick. So when Oliver being gone all of that time, he was the only billionaire playboy in the city.
True.
He got to live in that spotlight for a little while. And then, isn't it kind of funny that he only wanted to have a relationship with Laurel as soon as Oliver got back?
I was just going to say that, because we forget that when the show started, they were just bed buddies.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
Let me break that down. Give me a definition.
And then all of a sudden, he wanted to date her and all of that. So, he's not all on the up and up either.
Well, I mean, the stress of, at that point, Laurel wasn't really into him, and then he got cut off from his father, and then Oliver saying, hey, I'm the Arrow guy. I mean, obviously.
What is the voice?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, guys.
That's the Arrow's internal voice.
That's the muffled sound.
He needs to get that thing to put it against the throat.
I should do it.
That's funny. I don't know. So I'm definitely very excited to see kind of where he turns and how evil he gets. And just the look on, Merlin's face. He's so excited.
But see, what's crazy is when he goes to his father for a 9-to-5 job, his father looks so evil, but then he looks even worse.
That smile?
Yes.
That smile on his face, it makes me think he so saw the Dark Archer
Right.
hood. That one that he saw it, he knows.
And now they're gonna make us wait till April 21st to see it again.
I know, April 24th. That's terrible.
24th, yes.
Hey, but Colin did confirm that I guess he thinks or he knows the character didn't see the costume or didn't see the outfit. But he did say in an interview that it doesn't mean that if he shows him once, doesn't mean he won't show him again. So it's coming, I think.
Well, and since he came back in the last episode, you know.
Well, somebody's got to train him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to slap his own bowl of water for a while.
Yeah. That's funny.
So, do you guys think that I'm going back to Diggle for a moment? Do you guys think that Diggle is going to eventually get Deadshot?
I don't know if he'll necessarily do it this season, but I think that it'll eventually happen.
Yeah. Do you think that Oliver's going to help him out a lot more this time?
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely. I like that. I like the way they close that at the very end of him having that enlightened moment.
It's important to you, so it's important to me.
Exactly.
Well, he had to be near death to realize, oh, I should help Diggle too.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Something tragic usually has to happen before somebody sees the light.
It's
So.
like, oh, okay.
But at the same time, do you guys really think, going back to the beginning, that it was right for Diggle to be doing his own investigation?
Sure.
And no, but he was doing it undercover. He was keeping it a secret, obviously, because he knew that Oliver wouldn't find it important, but at the same time, he's your partner. He kept it a secret, and that's why he was doing his own thing, and did leave, in a sense, he was the wingman for the guy, and he left him hanging.
Well, he ignored the call. I don't necessarily think, but then again, I don't know. Do you think Oliver would have done the same?
If somebody's in danger, yes.
I think the fact that in the past, Oliver has hid things from Diggle, I think it's okay that Diggle had to do that. I don't think he tried to do anything maliciously. He just has.
But he also knows how selfish Oliver is.
Yeah, he's like, man, if I'm going out for this one thing I'm doing for myself, and Oliver steps in, I'm gonna be too nice and help Oliver out, because that's what happened.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, one interesting thing about that scene is that it was exactly played out in the comic too, except that he was asking Lana to investigate the island, not Deadshot. So I thought that was really interesting that the exact scene, the exact characters were represented, and they introduced Argus tonight, which if you guys aren't familiar, is I guess kind of like Marvel's S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
They're basically like the Homeland Security. They can do all that investigation that Diggle's looking for into Deadshot. So that's going to be exciting too, to see if they keep Argus in the storyline.
Well, and by the way, that's another person that Diggle, I guess, had a thing with.
Yeah. I'm not calling you for that, but
She's all excited.
Embarrassing. I know how
So you're
embarrassing
calling
that
to
poor
use me
woman.
for my information.
She's like,
thank you.
sweet. And then it didn't happen.
I'm so glad you called. Oh, well, hold him up. I'm not calling for that. That sucks.
Okay, wait. This is like way random, off the topic, but I want to talk about going back to Lance investigating the club and wanting to go into the basement. How did Tommy obviously covered up for Oliver, but transformed the basement that quickly? How did you know that you were
I think
gonna
he did it the night that he left dinner.
Yeah, I think he had time to do all of that. It wasn't like 5 minutes, let me fix everything.
Why didn't he call Oliver up and say, hey, yo, we need to help out with the basement? He wanted to blindside and test Oliver. He was testing Oliver's,
maybe not necessarily to test
I feel
him,
like
but
he
just to put
was.
him on the spot and make him feel uncomfortable.
Why would he do that?
Well, I think it was more so to show his loyalty.
Exactly,
Yeah, well,
exactly.
I don't know why he didn't call Oliver and say, hey, we need to disguise your basement back into a normal basement.
Wait, when he
'Cause
was
it's
breaking
more-
into the hospital?
Yeah, but
Oh, that's true. He was taking it to the hospital.
But it's more effective to watch him squirm, watch Oliver squirm, make him sweat it out, and then be like, bam, look at that. See, I do have your back.
Yeah.
And it looks like you didn't have mine.
And then Merlin's like, and that's why I don't have your back no more.
Right.
Yeah, that's why the tables have turned, my friend.
Yes. By the way, how do you guys feel about Carly having a child?
Okay, that just makes it more awkward, because as it is, I've already stated that I disapprove of the relationship.
She always have the kid?
I didn't know she had a child.
Yeah.
Forgot.
Yeah, she always did from the beginning.
Either way, I still disapprove of the relationship. We've already talked about you don't go there and you don't diddle your
Uncle
brother's
John.
wife, even though exactly.
John.
I want Uncle
How
John to
strange.
read to me. No, because he's gonna make out with me.
Wait, she's like, go to bed.
How confusing though for a
This is
child.
not why you're here.
Are you my uncle? Are you my stepdad? I'm confused.
Creepy.
Like,
I don't like it either. I want him to kind of
back off.
or be with
She's
Felicity.
not, though.
Yeah. No, Felicity is totally reserved for Oliver.
They
right
mentioned
now.
that at WonderCon, that kind of a little bit of a intensity between Diggle and Felicity.
See, I told you.
Really?
I said
Just
that
a little
like while
bit.
ago.
Just a little bit.
Oh,
Yes, I said that a
don't
while
see
ago.
that.
Just saying.
Oh, that would be cute.
Could happen.
I think so. I don't want her to be with Oliver. That's too obvious.
Yeah, but they're too serious for
But
each
not
other. I don't
everybody
feel
has
like
to
they
be
would
with Oliver.
be an amusing couple at all. They're so like.
I don't know. You guys go to
I don't know.
iTunes and comment. What do you think? I think Felicity and Oliver are too obvious. Come on, change it up a little
Yeah, I mean, I think Felicity and Diggle would be good because there's a certain connection about them where they can understand each other. This Oliver, man.
bit.
he's doing
Yes,
something
they
like
can
this,
bond
man.
over their, frustrations.
I don't think
with
Oliver will ever make time for Felicity where Diggle will be like, hold up, I need to take a pause from Deadshot and Oliver and hang out with you.
I don't think he's interested in. I mean, I don't know if they go that route. I just.
But I
it's
don't
just too
see a
obvious.
physical, and maybe it's too early in the game, but I don't see anything physical, attraction-wise, chemistry-wise, between Diggle and between Felicity.
Well, I
because
did. Weren't they like fighting that one time? He was like trying to train
little,
her. You know, I thought that there was a little something there. That's when I had first talked about it. I don't know. I don't know, like that. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know.
whatever.
Do you think that Laurel is going to start feeling distant from Tommy at this point? Like, do you think she's getting closer to her dad because of it?
I think that Tommy is going to push her away. It's not going to be necessarily on her behalf that she feels a certain way. I think it's just going to be he's going to get so consumed by everything that's going on in his life that she's going to be second priority.
And I think she might chase after him a little bit more.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
kind of what's
but-
happened with her dad, too. She's second priority because he gets consumed and obsessed with things.
Right. But it's just going to backfire on Tommy because if it does end up pushing her towards the Arrow, which is ultimately who he doesn't want her to fall for,
Yeah.
he just did it himself.
Right. But, he won't see it that way, and then maybe that'll ignite the feud even more.
Do you think that he'll become the Dark Archer by the end of this season?
By the end of the
I
season,
hope
I
so.
doubt
No.
it.
There's only
I don't-
5 episodes
I don't
left.
think we're that. I mean, I would hope that, that would be awesome, but I just don't think that.
There's too much story.
But he turned
still.
so quick into this, like, conniving Tommy, so I don't know.
I mean, maybe, but I still think that his dad has some time to be around for a while.
Yeah, I think they're building us up for
Yeah.
that Dark Archer Arrow battle number 2.
That would turn Tommy, if his father were to die in the hands of Oliver, he would become super evil.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's not just about Laurel being the conflict. It could definitely be his dad also being in that conflict.
Yeah.
Did you guys think it was weird that his father accepted him with open arms for, like, I want a 9-to-5 job? Okay, come here, son.
No.
Really?
I didn't
High
like the
five.
whole,
I did that one.
I didn't like the rush of everything. The whole rush of
But
him
don't you
turning dark and
remember,
everything
like,
was
I'm
just
with
bad.
you over there.
But wait, don't you remember on Tommy's birthday when his dad was it at Tommy's birthday where his dad went and reached out, tried to give him a gift and apologize and
But
all
he
this,
wanted
and-
something.
No, but at the same time, he's realized that he's come across as just wanting something. So he's been trying to earn his way back into Tommy's life, and it just hasn't been working because Tommy just keeps shutting him down. So the fact that Tommy's coming to him finally, I think that's why he was just ready to accept him into open arms.
Absolutely. And I think he needs a sidekick. And I think he's thinking long term. Somebody just tried to kill me. I got to get it together. And I need somebody to, live out my legacy. So I think he definitely does still want something. But I think that's why he was a little creepy.
I'm jumping all over the place, but
I mean,
just
so am
thinking
I.
about it too, wasn't Malcolm the one that ordered the investigation of the nightclub anyhow? He was the one that okayed it or something or
Was
other.
he?
Yeah, I swear to Detective Lance, because when Detective Lance showed up with his papers saying that legally it's okay for me to investigate, and Laurel took a look at the papers and she said, no, it is legit. It was
What, he
approved
got
by
a- he-
Malcolm, who's been trying to clean up the city just
Oh,
on
because
his
he got
own
a search
terms.
warrant.
Yeah.
But
think
don't
it
the
was.
courts have to okay a search warrant?
Yeah, I don't think it was Daddy Merlin.
oh, I don't know why I thought I heard his name somewhere in there.
No, I thought she said, Ollie, it's legit.
Yeah.
But prior to that, I felt like there was
Oh,
a
I don't know.
conversation
I'll
that
have to
said
watch it.
something.
I don't know. I'll have to rewatch it because I
Yeah.
didn't hear that. Maybe. I don't know.
I could be making it
I mean,
up.
it could be, but he wanted to try to lead him to the path to quit. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense. If he wants to get him on his team, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll have to rewatch that and figure out.
What is there anything else on this episode that we haven't brushed up on?
Looking through my notes and trying to see, and I don't know if I necessarily see anything.
Would you guys try Vertigo? That is a question.
Absolutely not. That's a negative.
I do have to say, I love the way they portray, you know how we're not supposed to have super, abilities in this show? I like how they portray Count Vertigo's power in the form of this drug. It's just, I think it's perfect. It parallels each other perfectly from the comic to the show. So I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Were you guys concerned for Oliver when he was forced to drink the vertigo juice?
No, isn't that the second time he's been on that stuff?
I know, they're gonna kill him.
He's a pro now.
He knows what he's doing. He had the herbs. I remember he had the herbs in his pocket.
He pulled a Nick Cage mode with the shot into the heart.
Yeah. Okay, I will say this, and again, you know, this is probably me just being slow. Okay, but when he pulled out the remote control, the little boop boop, and it made the arrow explode, I said, oh, that's how he makes things explode. I thought he just always hit the arrow on the right spot and ignited a fire somewhere.
He has little bombs, like they're like little bomb arrows.
Same here. I was like,
okay, see, I thought those were just little trackers.
Remember, he has all those different types of arrows. He has the one where he shoots it and it's a tracking device. There's the one that like it makes things blow up. There's like some other one, and he's got a few different kind of gadgets on his arrows.
I think if I was a master at any weapon, I would probably pick archery. That's a really cool one. Yeah.
It's still, though, at the same time, realistically looking at it, a bullet is faster than an arrow. I'm pretty sure. And you can, like, repeatedly, automatic guns. I personally...
Archery's so cool.
No, it's definitely cool.
That's
but
all I have to say.
But as far as safety and self-defense, I think I'd have to go with
he
a
can
gun.
only have, what, like 9 or 12 arrows at a time? I mean, what happens when you run out?
Pick it back up. Yeah. Well, that's why you got to be shooting from a real distance, I guess.
This is true.
Yes. All right, let's move on to news and gossip.
All right.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Everybody is looking at me. Okay, so my news and gossip,
got
it's
the
not
iPad.
so gossipy. I need to get some dirt. If you guys have dirt, tweet me or write us little comments on YouTube, because really I got mostly interviews, and those were things from WonderCon, which I know you ladies went to, so definitely we want to hear your insight.
Notes,
But some of the things I did do is I listened to some interviews. There was one with Thea, Willa Holland.
Yes.
Okay. And she was talking a little bit about her character evolving into Speedy. So I'm assuming she's confirming that she is going to be Speedy. And then she was talking about even her and the lady who plays Moira, they're trying to figure out the characters as well, because obviously they're still figuring out the dynamic of their relationship and the fact that her character is getting really sick and tired of, in a sense, being the one to take care of her mom because her mom is so wrapped up in her other things.
Right.
And I also heard that they're going to start telling a little bit towards the end of this season the story of Moira and how she became how she is and how she got involved, as well as Malcolm's involvement, which I think it's due at this point in the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So that is just the little bits that I had read about. Let's see, what else did I read?
Stephen Amell refuses to take his shirt off.
That was a good April Fool. If any of you are friends with her, she told a really good fool this April. First.
I know. It's like, wait,
That's the
what
worst
is
birthday
this?
present.
To catch you guys up on speed, she sent us all an article that said that Stephen Amell will no longer be showing his abs. They're now going to have a body double, and to make up for it, Manu Bennett and a few other stars are going to be
Which is
showing
not too
their
bad.
abs instead. I can deal with that, but at
Yeah.
the same time, you click the little link and it says April Fool. Thank you.
That was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, it was Ann's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Ann.
Oh, thank you very
Happy
much.
birthday, Ann.
So,
I think that is all I have.
All right.
let's go to WonderCon.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Thea, they did say by the end of the season there will be a moment, an epiphany moment, where she will have a purpose, I guess. Not necessarily saying that she's going to be Speedy, but they are saying that they're going to give her a little bit more of a push. Okay, and there was a question from a fan asking, okay, is Roy Harper going to go directly into the role of Red Arrow / Arsenal, or is he gonna go the Speedy route and then turn into Red Arrow? And so they said it's likely that he's going to skip that whole Speedy part. So it could very well be that Thea becomes kind of the Speedy role, and then Roy Harper becomes Red Arrow.
You know what? I'm going to cut you off because something I just remembered too that she said is she doesn't realize that she's going to indirectly be hunting her brother down because Roy is so infatuated with everything that he had just saw in his near-death experience. And she's on the bandwagon with him because he's on the road to maybe bettering himself. And of course, she's in love. So she's going to follow him around, chasing the arrow around town, not even realizing it's her brother.
Yeah, so they could be a duo. But they say Roy obviously wants to track down Arrow because he wants to learn from him and get a, now he has a purpose in life, which is to to better himself and to better whoever
And
else is around
that kind
him.
of makes sense because I thought something along the same lines when he saves Thea from the mugging and just the way that he fought and like climbed up the wall and did that whole thing. It's like
Right.
he's probably gonna go that route because it was just very similar to what the Arrow does.
There will be a flashback, like you said. It will show Robert still alive, which is really cool because you know he's been dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
Robert's interaction with Malcolm, so everything leading up to that, the Queen's Gambit going, you know, to sea. So that's going to be really neat, and obviously how Moira plays into that whole thing. And let's see, they're also going to.
I know that John Barrowman is going to be pretty heavy in these last few episodes. They were talking about how they like booked him in advance before the season even got underway.
Exactly. They said the tension is just going to build and build these next few episodes to get to that Dark Archer Hood fight, which is supposed to be incredible.
I'm excited for that.
Yes.
They said if you're reading the comic books, the comics will actually continue to come out even after season 1 is over.
Nice.
So there will be a few issues that come out after the season has ended. We'll learn more about Malcolm's wife.
Oh, good.
So there will be a flashback of her and her in rehab clinic in the Glades.
Wait, why'd she go to rehab? Oh no, her rehab clinic.
Yeah, she was
Sorry.
helping the Glades. Yeah.
Moment.
Will we see any iconic DC Justice League characters? They cannot confirm or
Which means
deny
they're
whether we will.
confirming.
So yes, which means
But they
yes.
did talk about that, you know, they're alluding to Nightwing a lot, and you know how much they would love to have Nightwing on the show, but the rights to Batman and to that whole part of the DC universe is very, very, you know, secure, and they don't know that they can get the rights to that character.
Yeah, sure.
Same with Superman. I don't know that we'll ever see him on the show either.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it would.
While it would be awesome, yeah. And that's it. They're just telling us, you know, just be ready because the finale is coming up. And
so
Yeah,
it's building up, for
when the
sure.
producers were just talking about, they were really trying to figure out a great way to end it to where we have a little bit of closure, but at the same time make it so intriguing that we'll want to come back for more next season.
Nice. I'm excited. I can't wait. I want some of my questions answered, and it looks like they're going to start doing that.
But then there's going to be more questions. With
Well,
those
of course,
answers.
yeah.
So.
But at least it takes care of like the first part.
Yeah. By the way, we had a YouTuber that asked us what comic book to follow, and can you suggest?
Yeah. I suggested to him, thanks for your question, by the way. I started reading Arrow Year 1, which is all takes place on the island, and they talked about that at WonderCon, actually. Somebody else asked the same question. And a lot of the shows based on that comic, also based on the Longbow Hunters. So if you want to start there and you're a big fan of the show, you want to draw the parallels, those are the 2 series that you want to start with. And then you can go back to the original Green Arrow because those are just awesome. And just to get a gist of what Green Arrow is about.
Cool. Thanks. All right, let's talk about our predictions.
Okay.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Someone's gonna die.
You're the lead host. Take over. Let's hear your
All
prediction.
right. Do you guys think anyone's gonna die?
I mean,
Any of the main characters?
Somebody's going to die.
By before the end of this season.
if it is, it's going to be somebody irrelevant, innocent
Really?
bystander, I think. Just kind of like we saw the girl that got hit by the car. Just stuff like that that's going to cause conflict, which is going to make Oliver want to seek out whoever's causing the problem. I don't know if I see it being anybody
I don't know.
huge.
If the writers have any, you know, they're gonna kill off a main character.
think
You
so,
think?
Yeah,
too.
they would have to
I
at
think
least,
so,
or
too. Which
would be
a near
amazing.
death, or maybe like the cliffhanger with we think someone's dead or something.
I hope it's not Diggle.
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
no.
But do you think that they'll have Walter maybe eventually killed?
That's what I forgot
that's
to
the
mention. He's coming
problem.
back.
Okay.
Oh, is he?
Good.
But like a
good.
1 episode, 2 episode, or he's coming back?
They mentioned that you will see Walter before the end of the season.
Okay.
But
I don't know what that means.
We'll see
Well,
him
maybe,
alive.
maybe that's it. Maybe that's where the death comes in.
Maybe it'll have to be a choice between Moira and Malcolm.
Maybe, and we know how Mara likes to throw people in the bus.
Yeah,
poor,
no
kidding.
poor guy last episode.
Yeah, right.
You
Well,
know,
in
she's
the
gotta look out
meantime-
for number 1.
She
Right.
does, which is her. In the meantime, where can we follow everybody?
Oh, you can follow me on Twitter at Ann Campea.
And you can follow me at Kellie with an IE 079.
And you can follow me at Kiss My Passport, or you can find me on YouTube under Alikona Bradford, television host.
And you can find me everywhere at Kaorious, Kaorious. And just want to let you know that AfterBuzz is starting a video game show on April 13th, Saturday at noon. I will be there along with David Klein.
Nice.
Yes.
Awesome.
So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.